Last time on CiP.
I can paint a picture. Like
a demigod or like an oracle.
The potential of this person.
He finds everything condescending.
Let's call her Granny Master Fax.
No.
That health and wellness, it don't come cheap, I tell you that.
Are you roughly, are you 100% or 90%? Where are you at so far? Roughly?
You can say I'm at 98%. I'm able to go back to work, so I worked this whole weekend. But
that's good.
It's that COVID. Once you get it, it stays in your system for at least 90 days. So
90 days.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that
as long as you don't have the symptoms anymore, you're good. But of course you can pass it to other people. So of course you still gotta mask up and whatnot. But after 90 days, it'll be completely out your system. So you still can get it again though.
Yeah,
sure. So
it knows that long. Wow.
Yeah. What it does, it heightens whatever sickness you may have. It just heightens it to the next level. So I just had a minor cough, but when I had called you, said, the cough was fine at first, but when I was on the first time with you guys, it was minor. So when I called Ethan, because we were about to have a second, podcast, it had moved to the next level. It's like that cough went to a whole nother level. So that's what it does. And my mom, she had, COVID, and they call it COVID pneumonia. So,
that's rough.
That COVID just heightened that pneumonia to a whole nother level to where she actually had to go to the hospital and be quarantined in the hospital. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
Pneumonia is, because your mother's also, she's 70, right? She's 70 or?
She's 65.
65.
Yeah.
65. But so pneumonia for someone that age is pretty bad. Then COVID pneumonia for someone that I can't, that's horrible.
Yeah. I like to call it like an attachment that it heightens everything to a whole nother level. So hopefully you ain't sick or something like that.
Thanks for coming back, man. I really appreciate it. Ari and Nate were both, really concerned. When I told them that you need to take some time off, they were concerned, and we wish you the best. So we're really glad to see you again.
Yes, we're very happy you're back. So thank you for coming back.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you first of all for getting healthy. Well, for not dying. Wait, that's worse.
Jesus. Ari. So last time Nate was impersonating me by saying weird, dumb things. Now Ari's impersonating me by saying weird, dumb things.
Oh man.
I'll just you know what I'm saying, so I'm just gonna shut up.
No. We love it. Thanks so much.
Oh my. Okay, so Ethan, you were before the show, you were giving us a rundown of the story of Al Ross and what happened. So can we get that again for the audience just a little bit, just for that?
Yes, and I'll keep it nice and concise. Long story short, we have a dark elf who has become a bit of a refugee because his home planet of, we'll call it, this is called Baki Alex. His home planet of Baki Alex was invaded by dark elves or space elves. So Al Ross has fled to a way station off planet. While he was on this way station, he was being hunted down by basically bounty hunters who were sent after any and all refugees from the planet of Baki Alex. And in this kerfuffle in this way station, he ends up obliterating all the bounty hunters. It impresses a bartender who's there. And this bartender decides that she wants to join up with Al Ross because she's heard the legends of these powerful magical elves, but never seen it. And she feels trapped at her current job working as a bartender and wants to do something much bigger and better. Now, we didn't really get into too many motivations of our characters. We know that Al Ross is he's left the planet of Baki Alex because he's trying to find the means to combat the invading space elves. and we kind of alluded to the idea that our bartender, we haven't given her a name, but that our bartender has joined up with him because she might know how to help him get the means to do this. She might be able to lead him to an instructor or a magical device or something like that. So I wanted to pitch it to you guys. Why do you think, or why do you want our bartender to team up with Alros?
So, am I able to change the planet to Mikey Alex?
Yeah, sure. you're able to change the planet to whatever. I mean, I just threw that name out. You can change the planet any name you want.
I just thought about it, Planet Flores.
Flores, okay.
It's a good name. Planet Flores. That would be able.
Flores.
We'll keep it like that.
That's a good name. I'm gonna write that one down so I don't forget it, just in case. Flores.
Planet Flores.
Okay. All right. Flores. Okay. And so on the planet, so I guess real quick, did we want to have it that our bartender, is she also an elf from Flores? Is she a completely different race? Because she has heard the legends of magical elves, but we did establish last time that I think you mentioned it, Baki, that doing magic itself is banned. That it's kind of banned and hasn't really been done that much. So elves aren't doing it. She could have either been from Flores and has just never seen it, or she could be from another part of the galaxy altogether and has just heard the rumors and legends across the galaxy of elves doing it. How do you want to play it?
She's not an elf, number one. She has her own planet that she derives from, which we won't get into that right now. But she is more of, we can say that she is more of a, almost like a humanoid type female. Okay. I'll figure out her planet later, but that has come to, like we established, to kind of help Alros information, but she has her own agendas for herself, but she has some information that can help Alros on the journey. So her side secret agenda is something totally different, but we're not going to get into that right now, though.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll come out later.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's part of the building the intrigue. One thing that I think Ari did imply last time was that if we're going full D&D, and Nate knows this stuff too.
Okay.
When you have a D&D kind of teams, if you're going to have a high class mage, they got to have somebody with them that's essentially either a paladin or a warrior or a kind of a fighter, more of a physical fighter, to kind of balance things out somewhat. So should this character possibly be more of a scrapper or a brawler, or how do you want to approach with this character's attributes?
Well, we established last time that she was more of a machinist.
Machinist.
Machinist. That's what I recall.
Yeah, machinist. Okay.
Right. Someone that knows the mechanical works of a gun, that knows how to put, different pieces together to make a weapon, or a gun type weapon, or a bomb, or anything to enhance a weapon. She knows how to do that, but she mostly maintains on, machinery weaponry, and that's her. I mean, she works in a bar, so she got guns all left and right.
So she works at a bar in Detroit. She's from the planet of Detroit.
From the planet of Detroit.
Right.
Actually, I love that. Let's keep that.
I like that.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, you're right. We did establish she was a machinist, and demolitions expert, and that kind of ballistics expert, machinist, demolitions expert, kind of all the above.
From Detroit.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
But it's like it's D like apostrophe TRYT. TROYT or something.
Right.
I was gonna say we could get cute with it and go Detroit, and then but have it spelled Detroit. But it's like from the French planet of Detroit.
The French, exactly. French.
Also,
perfect.
It's French. Yeah. They drink tea. They drink their 40s out of a teacup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone there's very pretentious.
All Very pretentious. I love
We
it.
apologize
Okay,
for
perfect.
anybody from France who may be watching. We do love you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do not
Not
think you're
Detroit.
pretentious.
If you're from Detroit, it's your own fault. But if you're from France, we apologize. You had it coming if you're from Detroit. By the way, my co-owner and partner for Echelon is literally from right outside Detroit. So if she's watching this, I'll have to find a new co-owner tomorrow. She's gonna quit.
It's fine if it's not from the sparkling from this region of France. It's just sparkling Detroit. So it's all good.
This is a fantasy. This is a sci-fi fantasy for real. Sparkling Detroit. Oh my goodness.
Man.
Okay.
I love that.
So we can have it then that if we're going full into kind of leaning into the Detroit, we can have it that Al Ross came out because it's a way station too. So she could have she could kind of take a job as a bartender, but she knows how to work on cars and if it's space, I guess flying types of spacecrafts or whatnot. And he's Al Ross is all he knows is he has to find a way to combat these space elves. What I was thinking was that if this is a master machinist, she could either have either some cyborg enhancements or parts because the place that she is from was also invaded by these space elves. Maybe give them a common enemy. Go full friend of my enemy or enemy of my enemy is my friend type of situation. And that could be something as to why she decides to link up with them. She's impressed by his abilities with magic, sure. But what she gets really incentivized is when as they're getting ready to part ways, he mentions something about how he was invaded by these types of space elf bastards. They had this distinct look, something like that, and how they're something about them that's distinct enough that signals her as far as like, oh, these are the exact race of space elves that destroyed my home world too, kind of thing. And she really gets invested. And we don't even have to have her say to him, oh, I know who it was. Let me just, I want to join you because it could be something that we just see her, the audience just sees her pupil dilate when she hears these details or something like that. And then she's like, hey, how about I help you? I actually, turns out, I forgot. I happen to actually know something about where you can go. I know a location of some guy that might be able to help you or something like that.
I have
Maybe it's like, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, maybe she if this is a film, we see her reaction to his being there. Like maybe she recognizes his race as well and is like, hey, he was fucked up by the same folks that I was. But she doesn't she doesn't really put all her cards on him yet because she doesn't know what he can do, but it's only after the bar fight. Bar fight? The fight for bar fight.
That's the name of it. Forget it's business. It's bar fight. I'm changing the title.
Okay.
It's different.
Fright.
And that's when she's like, okay, so this guy might be able to help me and I can help him for sure. So
yes. I love that idea. I'm sorry, go ahead, Nate. You had something to say.
Well, I was just going to say, this popped into my head when Baki, I think, mentioned about how like her planet got hit as well. Maybe have it be that bar fight happens. She is just kind of behind the bar the whole time, kind of watching it, and maybe that's a way we can establish that she's a bit of a hard ass because lasers and shit's flying around her and she's just like cleaning the bar. And then when it's over, she brings him over and she's like on the house because you got rid of the ruffians. And then when they get to talking and at the end of the conversation, she comes out from behind the bar and she's mechanical from the waist down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And
I like that a lot.
And the mechanical
that's
bits
the reveal.
can integrate into whatever she's working on. So she can essentially attach herself to a spaceship, and now she's like part of the spaceship, and that kind of stuff.
That's really cool.
I like that.
So does that imply that she has all right. So is she attached to the bar then, or is she does she have legs that she's using to work behind the bar?
I was thinking it would kind of be it could switch out where she could attach into wheels or attach into legs, whatever she's feeling because she's a machinist, so she probably has a whole thing of it. But I'm up for whatever.
No, so I was thinking that her lower appendages can transform into what she needs, mechanically transform into what she needs them to. So they can be, she can have wheel enhancements on there, or they can transform into like wheelish type of things. They can be more stiff legs if they need to be, whatever it is. So she has an ability, things of that nature.
So her body is what, 50% machinist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. Roughly that percentage. The lower half is machine type of stuff, and the upper half is all human type or humanoid type of stuff.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's totally different. I mean, how often do you see, a woman that is 50% machinist anywhere? I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. It reminds me of the copyright again and Star Wars again. But if Nate, did you see the Clone Wars animated series with Darth Maul?
I know where you're going. I haven't seen it, but I know where you're going with it. With like that actually was a little bit what I was thinking. That's
kind of what my brain went to.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good idea. So the way I'm seeing this too is I have to say about more Star Wars. Last month we were subjected to the Star Wars holiday special. Still haunts me in my dreams. But B. Arthur was the bartender there. We have to name her B after that. After B. Arthur.
What was the name? What was her name in the show? It was like Akmina. Akmina was her name in the show.
Akmina. If you want to do that, go lean into the Star Wars holiday special even more. It does fit, unfortunately.
And I really don't think Star Wars or the Disney would have a problem with that because they're like, we have to. It's from the special, then don't worry about it. It's fine.
I think any listeners will. I'm pretty sure any listeners will. But we've already insulted Detroit and lost all of our French sponsors, so we're batting 1,000. Okay, so Akmina and Al Ross, I guess 2 A names. They team up. I also like the idea that while this bar fight, as Ari calls it, is happening, that she's kind of just sitting there with her arms folded, very chill. As a body flies over the way, she kind of just dodges it, or she picks up a bloody head off the counter to wipe, kind of like keep doing her work. She seems unfazed by it. And I love the idea that you guys said that she's pretty much, once this greenhorn Al Ross walks in there and saying all this stuff about how you got invaded and looks all whipped. She's like, yeah, of course you are. You have no idea who you're trying to mess with. And is wildly unimpressed by him. But then when she sees him start mopping the floor with everybody that comes after him, she decides he could possibly help me. So she is opportunistic in that sense, but not necessarily straight up nefarious. We don't know what her true motives are yet, but we can tell she has them, which we want to do.
Yeah.
Like he was talking about.
I do like the implication that she's the reason why she doesn't react to the bar fight is that it's revealed that she was basically chopped in half. So of course nothing much would faze her.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You could try to scare me with bad beer. I can cut in half.
But bullets? Really? That's all you got?
Exactly. Yeah.
I know for her, as far as her looks, maybe sleek, and pretty. Not too pretty, but how should I put it? Because I don't want, she is half machine, but she also has a certain appeal to herself that's kind of attractive.
Yes. So I know you're saying basically that her cyber legs or kind of machine legs don't look crude or anything. Kind of similar to the way Samus, Metroid.
Yeah.
Something like that. How they look sleek. It's a sleek metal. Yeah, it's appealing metal. I got you. Yeah. I got you. Okay, we can do that. And of course, it can transform to be more advantageous given the situations that she finds herself in. Okay, so cool. So now there's 2 other things we can get into now that we're these 2 have joined up. Do you want to have it that they are in particular that Akmina, if we said it that the plot is that Al Ross is trying to find a magical spell to take down the elves that invaded his homeland. Is Akmina trying to lead him to our other role, which is an instructor? Is she deliberately trying to lead him to possibly another elf that she knows of, or someone else that she knows of in the galaxy that supposedly can do magic? Or is she trying to lead him to a weapon to fight with, a spell itself? What should she be trying to lead him to, or able to lead him to?
I think that she knows a lot more than he does from her background, what the Dark Elves have done to her. So she knows a way of destruction. So I would think that she would. You got a thought, Ethan, before I continue?
I do, but go finish. Yeah.
I would think that she will lead him to, I want to say both sources. The instructor, the instructor, because Alros knows the weapon.
Okay.
You know,
so Alros okay. So Alros knows. Here's what I was thinking too when you were talking about that, and Nate and Ari chime in. Don't obviously don't want to dominate over top of your thoughts, but basically it could have been that during the huge invasion, Alros was trying to fight against these Dark Elves, but he was getting whooped because he didn't know what their weakness was. He couldn't fight. He couldn't combat them, and it could be that she's fought them years ago, has experienced them, and she knows what their weakness is because she came across them, and over the years she's learned it. So she could be like, well, she could even told him, she could tease him by saying, hey, I actually know those guys' weaknesses. I actually know how to fight them. And Alros, of course, he's all very pretentious and like, I don't want to trust some random woman that only has 2 legs or only has cybernetic legs and whatnot. But she's able to convince him that she actually does have she actually knows their weakness. And she's like, I can't show you here, but I know the guy that can actually teach you how to do it, essentially. So if Alros does, you're saying that Alros has the abilities to do this type of magic, it could be that he doesn't know which spell to actually use against them. He's just kind of wandering in the dark. Like, how do I actually fight them? What are their weaknesses? And this instructor could actually know a lot more information about these Dark Elves or Space Elves as well. And that's kind of what she's leading him to. She's leading him to a source to actually, with weaknesses and everything, to fight, to combat these Space Elves.
Right. Right. I like that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's what they're off. They're off to go see this. They're off to go see the wizard, the wonderful
I
wizard.
was just about to say.
Yeah.
All right. So they're off to go do this, and we got to have some more Star Wars fun. That when they're leaving the cantina together, we have to have it that. My first thought was that we see basically someone in a slave one type of ship, almost following, kind of slowly, gradually falling behind them as they're on their way. So they leave the cantina together. They leave the way station together, and they get to another planet. And now this planet, if you're going to have your main characters go seek some magical, all-knowing instructor that has a powerful spell or weapon, he can't be easy to find. It can't be some basic ass planet. It has to be epic and interesting and dangerous or something. The Dagobah system was a swamp, a death swamp. So what should this planet be like that they're going to?
Man, it's just what immediately jumps into my mind are like all of the extremely dangerous, extreme like weather planets like Tatooine or Hoth. But that's just, it seems so.
I was thinking.
What you got, Bach?
I was thinking sometimes you don't always need to have a Dagobah system, maybe. Sometimes plain sight makes it even more interesting. As plain far as this character we're trying to find. This character just living normally. Maybe he's under hiding, but living normally in whatever planet system, like in a city or on a farm or whatever, just simple life, and you will never know because he just lives so normally.
That could work. I'm thinking again. Dreams.
Yeah. You can add whatever.
Go ahead.
I guess not think of so much seclusion, but more just living with the people, and it's more of a I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but you know, it's how do you find somebody when they just live so normally? With, how do you go about that?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I guess you could ask around, or I mean, we could get into the idea that you're saying
Ask around.
he's
though.
very normal. He's almost retired. He seems he's amongst the people. It could be that Alcmena knows of him, but may not have actually necessarily met him, or may not know all of his different names. So
Right.
So it could be that once they get to this new planet, that they're asking around for him. They don't know where to find him.
Like for example, you ever seen The Watchmen? And what's the dude name?
Dr. Manhattan?
No, the other dude, the one that stinks. The
It
Mask.
stinks.
Oh yeah,
Mask?
Rorschach.
Oh, Rorschach.
Rorschach.
Yeah.
Oh, Rorschach. The one that stinks.
The Mask.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Jim Carrey? Yeah.
So he was just a regular homeless guy,
Yeah.
and you just never know. And he just so fit in so good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
no one knew who he was. That's the thing.
Right.
Which was pretty cool. That was cool to me.
Yes.
The way that was set up.
Yes.
So he just blended in so well. I mean, he stunk. He was a homeless guy. No one will blame. Not blame, but no one will notice a homeless guy. Who knows a homeless guy?
He's very unassuming. I think the word you're looking for before was unassuming.
Right,
Unassuming,
exactly.
yeah.
Unassuming.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think like he would work like a regular job? Like I'm also thinking of like a very blendy worker, like a cab driver or something.
Let's go with that. Let's go with cab driver. Not only let's go with the cab driver, we have to have fun with it. We have to have it that I know we've all seen Scrooged here.
Yes,
It's
yes.
kind of like if you're going that, he's kind of a ruffian, kind of a low class guy. Possibly he's even possibly posing as that on some level.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get in the car, you assume cabbies have information about Alcmena could almost even ask, do you know of this name or this guy, what have you? And he's like, oh, that guy? Oh, no, not really. You could say, oh, yeah, I think I saw him over here. I've heard tell he's over this way. And he drives them all around using all their money and all their time. But it's similar to Yoda. It's like a test. He's trying to see.
Yeah.
He's getting information from them to see what they're actually after, if they're trying to come there to kill him or what they want to do. Plus, he knows he has his power. Our instructor knows how powerful he is. He knows the spells he can do. I'm sure they're not the first ones that have come there looking for him. Mm-hmm. So he's putting them on. He's literally leading them on a wild goose chase, testing them and seeing what they know. Essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Yes.
I think it would be, excuse me. I think it would be interesting if at some point earlier than the instructor wants him to. I think it would be interesting for Alros to have figured it out.
Okay.
I think now, granted, I mean goose chase still happens and happens for a while, but Alros picks something up off this guy. If for some reason something happens and he's like, wait a minute, you're and he catches maybe the guy says one thing at the beginning of the trip and then contradicts himself later on, and that clues him in that maybe I need to start paying attention to this guy, and to the point where Alcmena's give this guy, he's just an asshole, he's taking us for all our money, he's just whatever, and he's like, no, we need to stay with him. Why? He knows more than it's I think it's him.
Yes. No. I love that. I have a slight nuance what you're saying, as opposed to the instructor slipping up. What if it's that he does slip up, but it's less deliberate. It's Alros gets upset, and when he gets upset because he has a kind of a short fuse because he's kind of pretentious and everything else, and he starts cussing in his home language. And it could be that kind of the spells that he's trying to do are in that language. So he starts saying those words, and the cabbie kind of reacts, hearing those words a little too well for someone that wouldn't know that language.
Well, yeah,
and Alros.
My thought was he starts swearing in that language, and then the cabbie goes, "Watch your mouth."
Yes.
Yeah.
He starts saying those words, and the cabbie says "Watch your mouth." It says something like that.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
And then both of them could be it could be that scene in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where the Vulture or Michael Keaton could realizes, wait a minute, you're Spider-Man, and Spider-Man and Tom Holland realizes, oh, wait a minute, you're the Vulture, and they both realize that they both realize what they realize, kind of thing. So they're both kind of sitting there like, aha, yeah, we both know who we both are.
Aha! Oh.
I think my favorite version of that is in Batman Returns when Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle are dancing with each other, and then they both realize that they're Batman and Catwoman, and they're both like, "Holy shit! What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to fight now? What's happening?"
Yes, he literally says that they're to fight now. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So once it gets to that point, that boiling point, when they were like they had the full Selena Kyle, Bruce Wayne moment, and they're both looking at each other kind of in the rearview mirror. Akmina is just over there trying to figure out where to go next or what to do next, essentially. And they look at each other, and then we could just have it that Alros blasts, like fires off something, because the Alros isn't sure what to make of it necessarily, but he actually fires off an attack. And it pretty much blows up the cab or something, and the instructor is able to pretty much effortlessly escape the attack. And Akmina and him kind of get to the side. And basically, they're standing off at each other, kind of standing off, ready to pair it off for a fight, essentially. And they actually do, throw some blows. And Akmina's like, "What are you doing? Why are you attacking this cabbie?" And he keeps on attacking it. And then after they have a bit of a tussle between Alros and the cabbie. That's what. And I guess we could have it that the cabbie, they come to a standstill more or less. Then the cabbie just kind of smiles and says, "Well done. It's been a while since I've actually had somebody." Give me, make me sweat or something like that, and he's so something along the lines of go full kind of old school spaghetti western or anime where they do have a quick tussle to kind of show each other who they are, basically.
Yeah, I know I'm going back to a very specific thing, but it's like I just get this vision of them looking at each other in the mirror, and the cabbie just reach into the radio or whatever and like turns whatever background music's off. And then he goes like, "I just got to turn down this thing," and he like turns into like a deserted alley because he knows that they're about to have a rumble and they don't want to have it in the middle of everywhere. And then he goes, "All right, let's do this." And Akmina's like, "What the fuck?" Like,
where are we? What's going on? Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's great. Good call. Good call. It could even have something like where they mentioned that kind of music can be distracting at times or something like that. Yeah. So perfect. Okay. Yeah. So once that's established, then we could have it that, as Alros said, we could have it that the cabbie kind of takes them to his abode, which is a very simple, humble abode, and he's asking me like, "Why are you here? What's going on?" And Akmina's like, "Wait a minute, it's you? You were him? It's you the whole time?" She's kind of a flabbergasted, but he asked them what they're doing there, and of course we could have Alros mention, "She told me that you know something. What do you know? Or what can you do? Get through all that kind of pleasantries. And what do we want to actually? So we want to have it that this cabbie, he has you said, Baki, that he actually more or less can instruct him in a way to how to use a spell that Alros already knows, or or use a spell better that he knows, or
The weapon, of course, is what will enhance the spell, make it even more powerful. The spell that he knows, the instructor will instruct him to wield it to make it even more powerful.
Okay.
So that's his purpose, his skill purpose, I should say, with that. So because Alros is, he needs the pieces. He knows what he knows. He knows the information, but he doesn't have the ability to put it together. He has to find the ability, find the instructor, find the weapon, to put all the pieces together to go where he needs to go to deal with these dark elves. So, quest of knowledge.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we can definitely have it. That's what it is. He has the pieces. So it could be something as simple as the cabbie. Let's call him an instructor. The cabbie. The cabbie says,
I like that.
Yeah. So he might say, "So why are you here? Who you up against? What's going on?" And Akmina could mention that we're going up against these space elves from whatever planet. We haven't given them been on planet yet, but these space elves from this planet or whatnot, someplace. And and he's like, well, if you're going up against them, you have to use they're from a cold planet. Therefore, you need to you use fire. Their weakness is fire. And Alros is like, no, you idiot. I used that before. It didn't do anything. He's like, no, not just fire. Really, really, really hot fire, essentially. And he's like, here, hold this. And he tosses something at him, and it like burns Alros's hand. And he's like, see. He's like, that's what you have to be able to do. You have to be able to wield that much fire against him. So what Alros is basically has to learn how to do is how to master like extreme fire against him. Essentially, it's a level of fire he's never had to do, never had to wield. And it could be that Akhmina and I guess the cabbie have to have some kind of a relation or a connection, something, because we have to also reveal eventually how Akhmina's past with the space elves, and how Akhmina might know the cabbie. We don't have to really reveal them now, though, but it's got to come up eventually.
One idea I had thought is when they mentioned that, hey, we've got to go up against these space elves. I could almost see like kind of I get this vision of the cabbie basically being like, yeah, I tried, when I went up against them and whatever, and I wasn't able to do them. And then he looks at Akhmina and he says, you're a, Fufovian or whatever. And she goes, yeah. And he goes, they did that, right? And he goes, I'm sorry. And then just kind of like goes and he said, do you want some coffee? Like, so kind of implying that the cabbie was trying to fight off the space elves and was unsuccessful, and because of that, they raided Akhmina's planet, and she was harmed in that. And I think kind of having him feel really guilty about that, and her being like, well, dude, you tried, like, or maybe at first she's pissed and she's like, why didn't you stop them? And then she, whatever.
But this time, right along with you, this time, the cabbie is going to tag along. Ethan's gone.
Ethan froze. Oh, he's back. Okay, cool.
So this time,
I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm here.
So this time, the cabbie, Akhmina and the cabbie meet again, and now they have a team. So I guess he decides maybe later on. I said, okay, I'm gonna join you guys. Y'all need some help. Blah blah blah. And then the three of them will go on to fight the Dark Elves from wherever they are. So
I like that a lot. I like I like the idea of him because but I love what you said, Nate. I love what both of you said, but I love what you said, Nate. The idea of him, he failed his mission, and we can have he's actually the oldest of the old, and that he's pretty much he looks at her race, he recognizes what her race is. He says, "You're a Detroitian, aren't you?" And she's like, how do you? It could be that her entire race is pretty much done or mostly done as well. So not many folks know her by looking at her. And she's like, how do you know that? And he's like, and he just, as he said, he's pouring his coffee. He's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, what? And then of course he gets into the idea that he's like, if I did what I tried really hard. And so it could be that Akhmina knows about him because she knows the war.
The old war.
Yeah. His idea was so good it froze him.
Seeing them fail.
Oh, no.
And she may have heard the legends of these. Oh, sorry. I'm here. Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Keep falling out. Connection's
So
terrible.
the old war, Ethan, right? The old war of
the old war. The old war. He's from the old war.
Well, how old are we talking about? Well, these guys live long anyways, right?
they live long, but it's as long as it's before they got to these space ice elves got to Akhmina's planet of Detroit.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be too long. It's like within one generation maybe, or 2 generations at max.
Right.
But it's kind of that thing, and he can also be like reluctant to battle them because like, no, I fought them before, I lost. They are extremely hard to fight, and when he throws that object over to Alros, that extremely hot firestone or whatever it is, and Alros can't handle it, he's like, see how hard it is to handle. You have to use that in combat against a whole bunch of these things to fight, to even stand a chance. But how much of a chance could you possibly stand against them? So he's pretty much it's a lost cause. So
lost cause. And very reluctant, and actually really don't really care for what they got to do. I mean, I'll give you this piece of information, but that's it. I can care less about what you guys. But after a while, he'll say, you know what? I don't know, some pep talk or something, or not even no pep talk. He's just like, you know what? I'm gonna join y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. The first thing that came to my mind was after, because the rock burns the hell out of Al Ross's hand, and he's pretty much, as he's all disgruntled, sitting down, he's drinking his coffee and whatever with his feet up and anything, all that kind of old man type stuff. Al Ross picks up the rock. And it's just holding it in his hand. It's burning. You see it burning his hand. He keeps holding it. Just keeps holding it. Doesn't put it down. And the thing is, as the cabbie sees him doing that, sees how determined he is, and that he will not let go of the rock, it slowly starts to persuade him. And he's like, okay, fine. And he's like, fine. If you want to go there and die, I'm not gonna die with you, but I can at least help. But I'll at least do what I can from afar, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, so that could be all it takes. So,
well, I was gonna say it could be like an evolution thing where essentially he sees him with the rock, like just being determined and not and also like completely kind of screwing it up. Like he's not doing it the way, like handling it the way he should be, and it's kind of bugging the cabbie. He's like, no, I'm not going to say anything. I said I'm done. I said I'm not helping. And then finally he's like, all right. And then he goes over and he's like, all right, I'm not going to go with you, but I'm going to show you how to do it. And then due to whatever circumstance, they like get they have to train for a while or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how we want to set that up, but they train for a little while. And then through the training and through the relationship with him training Al Ross and him interacting with Akmina and starting to feel like, okay, I failed, but this might be my chance to redeem myself, because he's carrying this guilt because he knows that his failure caused genocides, and so.
Well, plus he's looking at Akmina. Every time he looks at Akmina, he realizes my failure caused your legs. Yeah.
Exactly. So through that, and then when they go to leave, he's suiting up too, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, I'm coming with you. Like seriously, You think I went through all of that and I'm not going to come with you? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But didn't you just say earlier? He's like, never mind that.
Well, I lied.
Well, I lied. Another thing too is while Al Ross and the cabbie are training, we can just see Akmina constantly working with the other stones or other kind of fire elements, like building stuff essentially. So because she is a machinist and she has those cybernetic legs, she's actually building her own arsenal to fight with, and she's more or less just doing it in the background. It's not like it's highlighted too much, but it's happening. So then when they do actually go back to Flores, the planet Flores, she's ready to dance too, as it were. So now that we have the whole squad, the mighty threesome. Sorry, what's that?
I was just thinking of something. The instructor, the cabbie. What the hell is your name, man? We'll figure it out towards the end.
You'll figure it out towards the end. I love the idea of someone saying that to them. Figure it out towards the end. When you die, you mean? What do you mean the end?
I don't know. We'll know his real name at the end. Instructor.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. Okay. Because obviously they were. When they first got there, she was asking, Akmina was inquiring about a particular name. So what is his real name, essentially? I don't know what his real actual name is. Mm-hmm. So, but as they head out, it could have also been Akmina built them somewhat. Another thing she was working on was building them kind of an anti-freeze car that's got ice shields on it, essentially, because they're fighting space ice elves. So they're able to traverse through the planet without getting taken down immediately by a shot from them, something like that. And because we really haven't dealt with the villains at all that much, we just know that they're kind of
they're out there somewhere.
Yeah, it's almost like. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying they're out there someplace, probably plotting something else.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the Fifth Element, where there's that looming ball of evil flying towards the earth, and there's the Gary Oldman character, but he just kind of ends up being like him and the orcs are, more of obstacles than anything else. But that's kind of the way I was.
No, I like that. Also, in the movie Platoon, even though they're fighting the Vietnamese, you never actually see the Vietnamese. You always just see like they're in the woods, the bush, the entire time. So you see the pop of gunfire and the brightness. You don't. They're almost their enmity of the enemy makes them that much scarier.
Yeah.
In a way. So it's kind of like that's what these space ice elves also. They're pretty much just a collective of powerful evil. They don't need a face or a name. That makes them that much stronger in a way. And they're not going against one; they're going against many. There's an entire many they're going up against. Yeah. Okay.
I like that too.
All right.
So
And
okay.
Go ahead, Nate.
Well, I was just going to say, so it seems like, so we get them meeting Akmina, them going to find the cabbie. They find the cabbie. They have their little fight. They have their little training kumbaya session, and then they go off to fight. Now, I think at this point, really at that point, I think it's just they go fight the bad guys, and then we just have like amazing multi-billion-dollar fight scene with computer graphics and all that kind of stuff. At this point,
Peter Jackson. Yes.
Yes.
There's one detail, and we can definitely have it more or less. It is pretty straightforward. It's a battle, but it's got to be one, because it is basically 3 versus many. So there's got to be some kind of a thing that they're able to, an objective they're going for. And it could be that they stay in the ship the entire time, or they're able to do different things, all kinds of badass action and whatnot. But in the 3 of them can handle a crowd of them or whatnot. But it's got to be one thing they're able to hit that kind of is able to take out the entire force of these space elves. So what should it be that's able to?
I think it should be a massive ship called the Destroyer of Stars.
Yeah, it should be the core of this space station.
We are just copyright.
Infringe.
Yeah. Well, that's actually not. I mean, I know you were joking, but what if we had it that? Because here's the thing: they can't taking out an entire planet of people for anybody is insanity. But it could be that the planet is being frozen over by a spaceship that's hovering over or something like that. So their objective isn't to fight everyone that's being on the planet.
So you do hit the spaceship. Well, I feel like maybe we shouldn't have it be like the eradication of an entire species. It should be just like one section of that species that are the bad guys and that are being, so like, they're all up in a ship trying to freeze the planet or something like that. And so we aim for the ship instead of the entire planet.
Right. Yeah. That's what it is. So the thing is, the cabbie, he's a cabbie, so he does know how to drive really, really well. And during the fight, he's an amazing driver, doing all kinds of stuff like Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious. You could even have him because that's his real name. He could be like, by the way, it's all about family.
My name is Vin Diesel.
Yeah, exactly. We could do that. Like, oh my gosh, it's you all. But we could have it. That's a big part of it. And he actually drives them in the cab there. They're being assaulted and whatnot. And as the cab, it's
another idea that arrests him.
Yes.
Sticks him into place.
It's just such a good idea that.
You back?
What?
What's that?
You froze.
Yeah, you froze for a second. You
I'm
back?
sorry.
I think you're back.
I'm sorry about that.
That's fine.
Okay. But what'd you say, Ari?
Oh no, we were just discussing how your idea was so good that you froze in time.
It froze you in time.
I'm sorry. No, all I was saying was that he is basically doing a kamikaze move. So he's flying the space cab that Akmina built, kind of at the heart of the snow star. And as he kind of hits the button to eject them, he says, "Oh, by the way, my name was
Snowstorm."
Snowstar is a dope ass name.
Snowstar's kind of the big.
That should be the title of the thing.
That's the title. Also, it's been Snowstar. It's been Bar Fright Snowstar. The prequel.
Bar Fright
all those things.
Part 1, Bar Fright. Part 2, Snowstar.
Perfect.
It's a trilogy. Part 1 is It's Been. Part 2 is Bar Fright, and Part 3.
I don't know. I don't know why, but this seems like this is a game that would be made by Double Fine. Like it just really.
If they're watching, now we're copywriting. Now we're copyright infringement. Yeah. But yeah, so he makes a huge noble sacrifice, slamming the car into the snow star, giving them a chance to actually hit up the leader of the base, or whatever it might be, and then Akmina and Alras. They use their powers. They all the stuff they've gotten from this power magic stone, this magic fire stone, take down the biggest of the big dogs, the general of the space ice elves, and they release the tracking beam and everything, and they're able to save Alras' home planet.
Yep.
And then you see the Ewoks dancing and
Oh yeah, the celebratory. Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
And everybody gets a medal. In fact, we even put Chewbacca on the stage and give him a medal just for shits and giggles. You know?
No. They forget to give him a medal, and then they go back and fix that because he's an actual person.
Yeah.
They forget. Yes, they have to splice him in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
that's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, I think that's a good story. That's good. Awesome.
It's a cool picture already created.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Akmina.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Definitely look like Akmina.
Yeah. She does. I love it. I mean, because the thing is, I don't even know. It's so much fun to watch Ari when she works because you have no idea where she's going. Ari, do you have an image in mind when you start, or is it kind of find your way?
In cases like these, I don't usually have an idea, like a finished idea. So I just kind of try stuff out and think about things as I work, and then when I latch onto something, then I just then I go for that.
I love it. No, it's great. It's truly great, Ari.
Thank
Very
you.
well done. Very well done. Part of me, I'll admit, when we first started getting to this today, I was did y'all see how Michelle Obama dressed at the inauguration?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Part of it was because she looked I've seen the memes of her where she has like a lightsaber in her hand with that mask, and she looks like an actual Jedi Knight. I was like, what if Ari does that?
Oh.
That's the kind of energy that we should all be bringing into 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single one of us. If we all had that much style and class and energy,
God.
we'd kill a whole bunch of snow stars by ourselves.
I'm not. That's the first thing I'm going to go search for.
Oh yeah. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. Nate, I'll send it to you.
Cool. Man.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps up the story. Does anybody have anything that they want to say before I wrap this puppy up?
I love it. I really enjoy the experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the mind.
Thanks again, Baki, for joining us. And
Thank you so much.
You fought off illness twice to make it happen. We really appreciate that. And
I did.
It was a great story. We had a lot of fun with. Hopefully, we served Alras well and the world well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alive, as they say.
Yes.
We're happy.
Yes. And Ethan, isn't there anything you wanted to plug for today?
Yes, there is indeed. There's quite a few. I mean, just two main things. Our entire team, the company that Nate and I and Ari are all part of, Echelon Graphic Novels and CiP. We are fully stocked on books. We have come on over to echelonGnovels.com. That's ECHELONGNOVELS.com. I will not spell it again because I'm amazed I could do it the first time. Come on over there. Check out all the products we have. We have amazing books there for you. We also have amazing merch. Nate did an amazing job designing our merch line. Come on over. See what we have. We have shirts, tees, hoodies, all kinds of things for you to wear. So it's a lot of fun stuff. We hope you like it.
Yes. We also have, if you go to, as well as Echelon, and then both of these sites are all like very connected. And I'm trying to not use the word incestuous, but that's the only word that keeps coming up into my brain. This is the way to market, people. Anyway, so the CiPnetwork.com also has links to all this stuff. And the CiP Network also has a merch store as well. We have the merch stuff for Echelon in a store, and then we have some merch, not as much, but we do have some merch stuff for CiP as well. You can get a Warden shirt and a No King Shame shirt. So come in and check all that stuff out. It's a lot of fun. And also with the books that are there, get them because Ethan posted on our Facebook about them, and they have been flying off the shelves. Like poor Mick, who is our supplier guy, he's hopping. He's going to be hopping for a couple of days. So
yes, he's going to be hopping for a couple of days. Yes. And also special shout out to my brother, my younger brother, Khorram. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we really appreciate it. Well, I think that about does it for today. So thank you again, Baki, for joining us. It was fantastic to have you. And thank you all for coming and watching us today. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Be sure to check out Twitch, our podcasts, and the CiPnetwork.com and EchelonGNovels.com. So thank you again, everybody, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.